Hey, good day everyone. Welcome to my channel, Mathematics of Today's Generation. Okay, kung bago ka pa lang dito sa channel ko, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. At pakihit na rin sa notification bell para updated kayo sa mga panibagong videos na i-upload ko. Oh, by the way, if you are a mathematics contestant, okay, a math coach, okay, or a mathematics enthusiast, then this tutorial is for you. Okay, without further ado, let's begin. So we are now on problem number 23, okay, a number theory problem number 5. So this problem is taken from the previous Philippine Mathematical Olympiad. And before we solve this problem, we are going to have a short review first on the basic concepts that are very helpful in solving this problem. Okay, for our solution, so let us recall the factorial notation. So when we have n factorial, okay, this means that this is equal to n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 that times up to 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, where n here, okay, n should be greater than or equal to 2. And also, we're going to define a 0 factorial, which is equal to 1, and 1 factorial is also equal to 1. Okay, so let's have examples for n factorial. Suppose we have example number 1, 6 factorial, so this is equal to 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, then multiply that all, so you will now have the result. Okay, but 6 factorial can also be written in another compact form as follows. So 6 factorial can be written also into 6 times 5 factorial. So we can also expand 5 factorial in this manner, but there are some cases that we need to express this number in this form only, because we're going to divide something of similar denominator for 5 factorial. Okay, so it means n factorial can be expressed also in compact form as n times n minus 1 quantity factorial. Okay, another example. So we have n plus 1 factorial can be written in another compact form as follows: n plus 1 times n factorial. So you can expand n factorial if you want to. Okay. So next basic concept is the so-called summation notation. Okay. So we use the capital letter sigma. Okay, this means that we are going to add, or it means sum. Okay, this symbol capital letter sigma means sum. For example, if we have a summation of I, where I is from 1 to 10, so it means we need to expand I as follows. We're starting from 1 up to 10. So the lower limit would be 1 and upper limit would be 10. We have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. So it ended up with 10 because the upper limit is 10. Then adding that all, so you will now have your answer. Example number 2, if we have summation of I plus 2, where I is from 1 to 4, for example, so this is equal to, by expanding this, we now have 1 plus 2, okay, because our I is equal to 1, then the next one is 2, so we have plus 2 plus 2, then next is 3 plus 2, then lastly we have 4 plus 2. Okay, adding this all, you will now have your answer. Okay, and I think these are just the concepts that we need to use in order to solve this problem. So I'll clean up the board and we're going to start solving the given problem. We're going to start now solving this problem. Okay, now we're going to have a short sort of manipulation with this problem. So 2 can be expressed as 1 plus 1. So then times 1 factorial. 1 factorial is equal to 1. So 1 times 1 equals 1. Then 1 plus 1, we have 2. Okay, then plus, we have 2 times 2 factorial plus 3 times 3 factorial plus 4 times 4 factorial plus that up to plus 2023 times 2023 factorial divided by 2022 factorial. Then from here, we're going to group these terms, that one, and we're going to write these terms in compact form using this summation notation. So we now have 1 plus summation of n, so these are n, or I, you can use I, so n times n factorial, where n starts from 1 up to 2023. Be divided by 2022 factorial. Now from here, let us have some manipulation to the variable n. So n can be written into n plus 1 minus 1 because 1 minus 1 equals 0. So we go back to the variable n. Then we're going to substitute this equivalent expression for n. So now we have 1 plus summation of n plus 1 minus 1. This is for the value, equivalent value for n. Then times n factorial, where n starts from 1 up to 2023, divided by 2022 factorial. Okay, now, continuing the process. So, this is equal to 1 plus summation of, we're going to distribute this n factorial to the expressions in the parentheses. So we now have n plus 1 times n factorial minus n factorial times 1. So we have n factorial, where n starts from 1 up to 2023 divided by 2022 factorial. Okay, this follows that we have 1 plus summation of n plus 1 times n factorial. So this expression is equivalent to n plus 1 quantity factorial. Okay, then minus n factorial, where n is from 1 to 2023. Okay, divided by 2022 factorial. Okay, expanding this expression, we now have, this follows that we have, equals 1 plus, so when n equals 1, so we have 2 factorial minus 1 factorial plus, we have 3 factorial minus 2 factorial, then plus, next is 3, so we have 4 factorial minus 3 factorial plus, plus up to, we have 2022 factorial minus 2021 factorial plus 2023 factorial minus 2022 factorial plus 2024 factorial. So the last na, 2023 plus 1, so 2024. So minus 2023 factorial. Okay, divided by 2022 factorial. Okay, so from here, we're going to look into the expression that can be cancelled out or the numbers that can be cancelled out. So take note that 1 factorial is equivalent to 1. So therefore, 1 minus 1, so this is 0, so cancelled out. Then 2 factorial minus 2 factorial, so this can be cancelled out because that is 0. Next, 3 factorial minus 3 factorial here, so we can cancel this out. And all the numbers here can be cancelled out. That one. Then 2022 factorial minus 2022 factorial. And lastly, we have 2023 factorial minus 2023 factorial. So the remaining would be, okay, 2024 factorial divided by 2022 factorial. And take note, 2024 factorial can be expressed as 2024 times 2023 times 2022 factorial divided by 2022 factorial. And 2022 factorial divided by 2022 factorial, so that is equal to 1. So the remaining would be 2024 times 2023. Okay. Now, since we do not have enough space, so I'll clean up the board and I'll put these values, there. Okay? So, the resulting value for this is equal to the product of 2024 and 2023. Now, from here, we're going to express each of these numbers into its prime factorization. So, take note. So, let's begin with 2024. 2024 is divisible by 4 because the last 2 digits is divisible by 4. Or, we can directly divide it by 8 because the last 3 digits is divisible by 8. So, let us apply the long division. 2024 divided by 8. So, 20 divided by 8, so we have 2. Then 2 times 8, we have 16. Subtract 20 minus 16, so we have 4. Bring down to 42. 42 divided by 8, so we have 5. Then 5 times 8, so we have 40. Then subtract 42 minus 40, we have 2. Then 24. Then 24 divided by 8, so we have 3. So therefore, 2024 can be written as 8 is equivalent to 2 cubed. So we now have 2 cubed times 253. Okay. Next, 2023. Okay, so this is divisible by 7. So let's check if this is divisible by 7. So we now have 2023. So the way to determine whether a number is divisible by 7 is we need to multiply the last digit by 2, then subtract the result to the remaining digits. So therefore, we have 3 times 2 is equal to 6. So the remaining digits would be 202, then minus 6. So we now have borrow 1. So we have 1. So this is 10, so 9. Then borrow 1, so we have 12. So we have 6 here. Then bring down 9. Bring down 1. Okay, 196 still a big number. So we continue the process. Multiply 6 by 2. So we have 6 times 2 is equal to 12. Then subtract to the remaining digits. We have 19 minus 12. So we have 7. So it means, 2023 is divisible by 7 because 7 is divisible by 7. So let us divide by long division. So we now have 2023 divided by 7. So 20 divided by 7. So we now have 2. 2 times 7. So we have 14. Subtract 20 minus 14. So we have 6. Bring down 2. 62 divided by 7. So we now have 8. Then 8 times 7. So we have 56. Then subtract 62 minus 56. So we have 6. Then bring down 3. 63 divided by 7, so we have 9. And 9 times 7, so we have 63. And this is equal to 0. So we now have 7 times 289. Okay. Then from here, 253 is divisible by 11. So what's the rule for divisibility for 11? So we're going to add the alternating digits. So 253. So the alternating digits are 2 and 3. So adding this, so we have 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. Then subtract to another sum of alternating digits. So 5 is the other alternating digits. So we have 5 minus 5 equals 0. Then 0 is a multiple of 11. And 11 divides 0. So therefore, 253 is divisible by 11. So now, applying the long division, 253 divided by 11. So 25 divided by 11. So we now have 2. Then 2 times 11. So we have 22. Then subtract 25 minus 22. So we have 33. 3 I mean. Then bring down 3. 33 divided by 11. So we have 3. And 3 times 11, so we have 33. Then subtract, so we have 0. So it means we have 2 cubed times 11 times 23. This is for the prime factorization for 2024. And 7 times, okay, 289 is a perfect square number. And this can be written as 17 squared. Okay, now, rearranging these numbers in increasing primes bases. So we have 2 cubed times 7 times 11 times 17 squared, then times 23. Okay, now going back with our question or problem, the question is, what is the largest prime number which divides this expression? So from here, we can say that the largest prime number is 23. Out from the prime numbers 2, 7, 11, and 17. So we can say now, therefore, the largest prime number that can divide the given expression is equal to 23. Okay? So, and I think it's a good place to stop.